Hello friends, welcome to Salesforce Cymatics video session 90. So in today's video, we will just complete that part which we did. So I think the data flow ran successfully. We were doing this computation. Let's very quickly do it and we will finally check it on our data set if it's matching or not. Okay. So yeah, again, here it's current minus previous by previous. So by default, it will be 0. That's fine. Okay. Then if you see every number is same over here, so it has to be 0 everywhere because as you can understand, okay, because there's no change in amount, right? And here also if you see for first 3, because for first I think 4, yeah, up till 4 it is same 0 because no change, but here we have a change where it's 3,50,000 minus 3,000. Okay, so it is 50,000 divided by 3 lakhs, right? So let's again bring the calculator back. So it is 3,50,000 minus 3 lakh, which is 50,000, right? Divided by what is the previous amount? It is 3 lakh, isn't it? And if you multiply by 100, it's coming 16.67. So we can write something like 16.67. Okay, that's fine. Okay, and here also if you see, it is again I think 50,000 because it's 3 lakh minus 3,50,000, which is minus 50,000, right? So minus 50,000 by 3. Okay, so let's do that calculation, huh? So here it will be minus 50, sorry, minus 50,000, okay, divided by, it will be 3,50,000, right? Okay, into 100, which is somewhere around minus 142.85, right? So let me write here minus 142.85. Okay. Similarly, here if you see, so first of all, it will be 0. That's fine. And I think here every amount is 0. Okay. So let me drag this, not here, not an issue. And here, of course, first will be 0. After that, if you see, so it is like 6 lakh minus 4 lakh. Okay. So let me open the calculator once again. So it is like 6 lakh minus 4,50,000. Okay. 6 lakh minus 4,50,000 divided by 4,50,000, right? So divided by 4,50,000, okay, into 100, which is equal to 33.33, right? So it will be 33.33. Okay. And after that, if you see, there's no change, so it will be 0 completely here. Okay. Sorry, that's fine. Okay. Now let's quickly check on the data set side. Okay. So here I already have this data set. So let me refresh this. And here, let me bring the change in percent. Now, as you can see here, if I go back to 𝒂𝒑𝘋𝑚𝑒 1, so this is how it's coming 0,0,725,0,0. If I open my Excel sheet, it is the same 0,0,725,0,0. Okay, the first one is matching. Then if I open 𝒂𝒑𝘋𝑚E 2, so everything is 0, which is matching in my case as well. Okay, and let's check for 𝒂𝒑𝘋𝑚E 3. So here if you see, it's 4, 0, 17 and 14. Okay, so 4, 0, it's rounding off basically. Had I given in 2 decimal digit, it would have given me 16.67, but in 16.7 and minus 114. Okay, I think I made some mistake here showing minus 114. Okay, maybe I made a mistake. So it's like, let me check in the calculator once again. Okay, maybe I did some calculation mistake. So it will be minus 50,000, that's for sure. Okay, that is there, divided by, it will be 3,50,000, right? Yeah, it's 3,50,000. There are 4 zeros. Okay, so it into 100 will be, sorry, it will be, as you can see, point is here, so 14.28. Okay, so yeah, that was a mistake from my end. It will be, the point will be here actually. Okay, anyways, 1 minute, what happened? 14.28. Okay, fine, not an issue. The next one is Acme 4. So again, it's 0, fine, which we got as well. And the next one we have Acme 5, where it is 0, 33, and everything else is 0, and that's what we are getting. Well, so at this point part, we will get if we just put the decimal part. So for example, if I open this, okay, and in that compute expression, if I just put the scale as 2, it will show me appropriately, okay, with the proper scale. Let me propagate, update, let me run, and in the meanwhile, let me save it as well, okay. So let this data flow run. Okay, it ran successfully. Now, if I refresh, okay. So let's, yeah, as you can see, it's showing 33.33, which is coming here as well. And let me show you for one, that is Acme 3. And if I choose Acme 3, yeah, showing me 16.67 and 14.29, which is fine. Okay, that's not a big deal. It has rounded off. Okay, so yeah, it's coming appropriately. So as you have seen how we are actually, Einstein is doing calculation computations in the backend, and I think we have walked a few dummy examples, which is great. So let's quickly revise a bit what we have done. So at first, like this was a meter reading data, which we brought, right? There were certain datas which we had, isn't it? And over there, we calculated the start and end. So whenever it's partitioned by, always remember, okay, that you have to divide that part. So for example, if I take this Acme records, when I'm saying partition by op name, so this was my original sheet, right? So if I, let me just clear out the filter. 1 minute. So this was basically the whole Excel sheet which I had, which consisted of a lot of records of op name, their particular stage, amount, and snapshot date, the date when, you know, the stage name got changed. Okay. Now, if you see here, the first part is whenever we are doing the partition by op name, which means the next part will be wherever partition by op names, whatever op names which are equal, right? Like Acme 1 are the equal opportunity records, those will be bucketed. Okay, those will be separately categorized under one, and then after leaving a gap, we will have the second category. So all the Acme 1, I just took it over here, right, first along with their fields, and the same thing I did, I had maintained a gap, and the same things I have actually accumulated Acme 2, Acme 3, all those stuffs. Okay, that's the first thing about partition by. That's the concept of partition by. The next part is the order by, where that particular date, depending upon the sort direction, so for example, in my case is descending. Okay, so after partitioning it by, the second step which I did was like all this date which I just sorted out in our Excel sheet. You have all the relative functions, right? So I just sorted out in my Excel sheet. So based upon that sorting, so the respective rows were also getting changed, right? So sorting means like whatever. So for example, if 1 6 have 5,000, automatically it will sort it. For example, if 1 1 2018 have this 5 lakhs, automatically if 1 1 goes over here, then this 5 lakhs will also go over here. Okay, that's how the sorting part is done, isn't it? That's how we do it. Okay, so that way we have done it, right? And after that, what we did, we calculated a derived field, because at the end of the day, the compute expression and compute relative is used to calculate a derived field, right? So we calculate a derived field called previous stage, where I'm just mapping this expression type. Okay, so basically whenever you're going derived, you get two options for the expression type. One is source field, another one is SAQL. So either you can operate on SAQL mode, or you can just take a reference of any particular source field, like one field which is there in that particular data set, and you can like go for previous. So there are many offset functions. So these are the ones, like either you can go for that. So whatever value that particular field is having in the current row, you can either go for current, or whatever value is having in that partition table for the first row, you have to go for that. Otherwise you can go for the next one or previous. So these are the offset functions available, that is current, first, next, and previous. Okay, cool. Then after that, basically you have that option of providing default value, and that's what I shown you, like how I was checking with the previous one. Okay, so I'm able to get the previous stage, fine. Then we have something called as change in status, where I'm applying an SQL expression, where, you know, now this you have actually, by this I also wanted to tell you how we are differentiating between computer expression and computer relative, because in computer expression you cannot use such functions like current, previous, because in one particular row only you can do the calculation, right? So that's the way computer expression was. In one particular row, whatever stage, whatever column value it finds, so that calculation it can do only in one particular row. This is what computer expression does. But in compute relative, as you have seen, we can do calculation across the rows. Like we can use such functions like previous, current, first, all these functions in compute relative mode, right? That's what we did. Okay. And finally, we have calculated the change in percentage, which I just showed a calculation part. Fine. So I hope you understood what is the difference. This is a very commonly asked question. Like if you go to an interview, they ask this question a lot. What is the difference between computer expression and computer relative? And one word answer. This is the one that in computer expression, you can do calculation across particular row, but you can do calculation across various rows in kinds of compute relative. Okay. And after that, I just registered it. And similarly, we are doing for this one as well. Okay. So in the device code also, like if I open my meter reading data, so let me just save this. So now if I open the meter reading data set, which we had already done. Okay. So here also we had this device code, right? We has the device code reading. Okay. We had the device code and reading. Up till here, we had everything, right? And then I showed you how we did the calculation, isn't it? So the calculation part was shown over here, where I took the partition by device code. Okay, we had two device code. Then I how sorted it out by the date ascending order, and then how I calculated the start date and count of readings, where I was able to use such expressions. Okay, so that's the thing. And yeah, secondly, we also kind of calculate the end date and we'll read it out. Okay, so the thing is that with this being shown to you, which I've shown with the help of a dummy Excel sheet, this thing actually, if you realize, if you are working in Salesforce, you must realize that this thing actually works in kind of opportunity and opportunity history. So we have two objects, right? Opportunity and opportunity history. So you can combine and make the application of it. Like sometimes the clients want to see what was the previous stage or what was the previous amount. In those kind of scenario, you can utilize this particular expression and you can do the calculation, right? So for example, if I go to my developer console and if I open, let's say opportunity, okay, opportunity.obj, we click on open and let's say select a few things: ID, name, stage name, amount, probability, expected revenue, close date. I type is not needed. Okay. Maybe is closed is one. I can go for maximum. Okay. Yeah. And let me click on query. So let me just query it over here. Execute. Okay. So these are all the values. Then we have something called as opportunity history as well, right? So if you check this, yeah, there's an object of opportunity history. Let's say take ID, opportunity ID. Okay. Stage name, amount, expected revenue, close date, probability. I think that's it. Okay. Brief close date, brief amount can also be taken. Okay. So let me click on execute. So yeah, this is the thing where you can now, if you want to show the brief close date, the previous amount, you can calculate. And if you want to check the change in amount, that part also you can do via this opportunity history object, right? We, for a particular opportunity, we have all the stage name, and then you can just do the lookup with that particular opportunity and you can calculate. So that's the way you can actually in real time scenario perform the same logic for opportunity and opportunity history to know like what was the duration of each stage, right? So basically depending upon how the close date got changed, what was the duration for each stage. Okay, those things you can calculate. Okay, and of course we have this previous amount, which is fine. Okay, but to exactly know like what was after like going from prospecting to, let's say, the next stage qualification, okay, what was exactly the difference in amount, those things you can calculate by the way I have shown you. Okay, so yeah, that's what it is. And please do like, share and subscribe. And yeah, let's meet very soon in our next video. Thank you.